fire here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado. It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
There we go. What's
Whoa.
up, everybody?
Whoa.
What is going on? That's not the way to start the show, but what's going on? Kaplan and Crew back on your TVs, back on Sirius XM channel 159, back on SportsGrid, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Alex Padilla, John Browner with you guys, just the crew once again. We will check in with Scott here in just about 30 minutes or so. He's up in Mammoth. He'll be checking in from our great sponsor, Mammoth Holistics, as well. It is Friday. I don't do that whole woo
No one should
thing
do that.
Scott does. But I am equally as excited as Scott is for Fridays. I love me my Fridays. I love me my weekends, but I love being back on with you guys, the great friends. Browner, what is going on today? How excited are you that football was back on our televisions, and not just football? The Chicago Bears, your team, were back on our football. When I heard that, bum 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 bum, I was like, the excitement in my body. I know it's Hall of Fame game. I know nobody was going to play.
I was about to say.
But just knowing this, that from now until February, when I turn my TV on Sunday, there's going to be football. There's going to be NFL football, and it's a beautiful time. And I know people, Joe Buck's got his haters. His voice soothes me because I know it's coming. I know the football season is here, and that's how I felt last night. You can have that face all you want. I'm telling you how I felt.
Listen, last night's game was like a low-level steakhouse, okay? It's steak, and it's good to have it because I haven't had it in a long time. It's good to have it, but the real thing is coming. But I got to eat this now because I'm kind of in a hurry, and I don't get paid for another 2 weeks. So I got to eat this because I really wanted a steak. So I just went and got a little something. But when that direct deposit hit in a couple weeks, oh baby,
Ruth's Chris.
Oh baby, Steak 48, Ruth Chris, Donovan's. I don't really know how high Donovan's is on the list, but you get what I'm saying. You get what
Texas
I'm saying.
Roadhouse. Just kidding.
Right, I was at Outback. I was outbacking. I was outbacking last night. All right, I was low. I was steak and shake. Whatever. Like I was low. It was low bar.
I'll admit this 100%. I didn't watch very much of the game, but that's the most
too much of it.
That's the most Hall of Fame game I've ever intook in my life. Like if you put the previous 37 years of my life and how in the Hall of Fame game was on and how much I watched yesterday, I watched more yesterday than if you add all other 37 years together. I've never watched a single second of a Hall of Fame game, but for some reason, maybe it's because I have my first fantasy draft tonight and I'm leaving town to go do this thing. So maybe I just got in the mood early this year because I'm forced to be, but it was great. It was awesome.
I watched 3/4 of this thing. Okay.
Ooh. Well, there was only 3/4
because of the rain. I would
because
have
it was a
finished it.
lightning storm.
I would have finished it. But I got to. There are two things about the game that stuck out to me last night because obviously Caleb Williams not playing, the Bears starting five not playing, CJ Stroud not playing. The game pretty much became irrelevant at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that I was watching for in the game was just to see one football again and to check out the new kickoff rule. I got to tell you, I like the new kickoff rule. I like it. I like it. I think that you can get creative with it. I think if we have some very, very smart offensive coordinators around the league, some very, very smart special teams coordinators around the league who are going to figure out a way to energize and juice this thing to get some returns. Because there's some returns in this setup. You just gotta, get your hands dirty with it and start cracking some helmets in practice. You're gonna see some touchdowns out of this.
Yeah. I was very confused when I tuned in yesterday and watched the opening kickoff. I was like, why aren't they running? Wait, oh yeah, new kickoff rule.
Right.
Duh. And then they have like this new graphic, this new green rectangle,
green zone,
or the green or whatever.
The landing zone, what they call it.
Listen, man, I 100% agree with what Jason Kelce said on air yesterday. And I know we'll get to Jason Kelce at first, totally different reason. But let me tell you this. What he said yesterday was absolutely correct. That the kickoff for the previous years has just been an exhibition. It's more of an opening ceremony to a drive than anything. I 100% agree with what he said because they were irrelevant. Nothing ever happened. All they did was get either kicked into the stands or players got taken a knee. Yesterday, at least you saw some dudes running. At least you saw some dudes running. They got the ball. They didn't get very far. I believe the furthest they got was the yard line, but at least it's something. And I think that people don't like change, except this one. I think we're down for new change because that was at least something happened.
Because also, I think now you will see more high-profile guys returning kicks because it's safer, and you can see seams in this. So now I wouldn't be shocked if you start seeing guys like Xavier Worthy, the first-round pick for the Chiefs, or Tyreek Hill. I don't think you'll see guys like Justin Jefferson, guys who truly have elite speed. Yeah. You will start seeing them in these spots because all you got to do now is catch one seam, and you gone. You are gone.
Yeah, there's no more layers of defense. Like
No.
once you pass that first line, you could
good.
be gone. Yeah.
You good. So I think that we're going to see a lot more returns. It puts this play back in action, and it gives guys another opportunity to showcase their skill. And that's what we're looking for in the sport. Now, it's not about, big hits anymore. It's about the display of skill that guys have on the field. And I think with this, you're going to start to see more high-profile players play this position because, too, it's just you. Like, if I'm Tyreek Hill back there, this is a moment for me to be cool and get on the highlight reel. And that's how a lot of guys are probably looking at this as an opportunity to get on the highlight. Devin Hester just made the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he was a terrible wide receiver, and his cornerback skills were pathetic. But if you kicked it to him, game over. Over. So the guy had the most electrifying start to any Super Bowl I've ever seen. So it's just a matter of bringing that skill back. It's very important to the game, and I think it'll be beneficial for all parties involved.
Yeah, I think it was great to see at least a change. And, it's one game, and it's the Hall of Fame game. It's not even a preseason game. So we'll see once, more elite players start getting back there and doing the thing. But, Browner, it's a big weekend for you, man. And a special shout out to, rest in peace, John Clayton, one of the best NFL personalities ever. He was on our show. He was a regular on our show. And you and him had some battles about the worthiness of Devin Hester and his Hall of Fame chances. And you were just adamant that he's getting in. And John, who was on the Hall of Fame committee, constantly said, he's not getting in. He's not getting in. I don't think it's a surprise, and I hope this isn't offensive, that once John passed, that Devin got in. I mean, that might be some real correlation. Could have been John fighting against someone like Devin Hester to get in. But it's a big weekend for you, man. Your boy's in the Hall of Fame.
Look, man, I gotta tell you, I told you so. But I did. But I did. R.I.P. to my dog John Clayton, man. But I gotta tell y'all, man, as a fan watching Devin Hester, it was you did not get up. You during kickoffs that became ceremonial at times when Devin Hester was back there, even when he was with Atlanta, you were paying attention to the game because you knew at any moment we go into the house. And it became one of the most, and oftentimes it was the only way the Bears could score. It became an opportunity to be electrified. Like he was almost like Barry Sanders back there, the way he was making things happen. So, hey, shout out to Devin Hester. Had a fantastic career with the Chicago Bears. He's the greatest kick returner of all time. And now it is cemented because he is in the NFL Football Hall of Fame. Returning kicks. Like, think about that. He's in a Hall of Fame for returning kicks. That shows you how dynamic he was and the impact that he had on the game. And to me, to make the Hall of Fame, any Hall of Fame, the question should be about you. Can they tell the story of the sport without your participation? And now, due to Devin Hester's impact, you couldn't tell the story of special teams anymore without Devin Hester. So he deserves it.
Well, a rare W for you, Browner, on that one. A rare dub for you on that one.
Facts.
Congratulations. Congrats to Devin Hester getting the Hall of Fame. All right. Later on, Scott Kaplan's going to join us from Mammoth Holistics. This is Kaplan and Crew. We're brought to you by 7 Mile Casino here in San Diego. 7milecasino.com. We'll be right back with more Kaplan and Crew.
It's time for the highlight of the day.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up. And Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back, everybody, to Kaplan and Crew with Just the Crew. Myself, Alex Padilla, and John Browner with you guys here on a Friday, live on SportsGrid Television and Sirius Channel 159. And for those of you watching on those platforms, you're more than welcome to join our YouTube and our live chat going on.
Some of y'all
YouTube.com. YouTube, don't worry about that. YouTube.com/Kaplan and Crew. And Browner, before I get to any more sports, the boss is watching. You ready for this, Scott? Kaplan and Crew is brought to you by Blenders Eyewear. Blenders, use promo code Kaplan. You're going to get 20% off your purchase. And it's not just sunglasses. Look at Browner. You can look fly AF rocking the Netflixes, even though they're not called the Netflixes. I'm rocking blue lenses right now. They also do prescription lenses. If you need glasses, I don't actually need them. They just help me. And obviously, all the incredible sunglasses that they have at Blenders Eyewear. Go to blenderseyewear.com. Use promo code Kaplan. You will get 20% off your purchase. Also, if you spend $50 or more, you get free shipping. So there you go. It's all across the country. There's stores here in San Diego. I think there's a store in Austin. So if you're in those areas, go check it out in person. That promo code works in person as well. How was that, Scott? How was that? Because I forgot to read ads yesterday. This is the boss watching live from Mammoth. I have no idea where he is, but I was just texted this picture. So there you go. Scott will be checking in here shortly. He's going to
My dog's
Mammoth.
drinking a mimosa, bro. This dog's drinking a mimosa.
We out here grinding. He's out there drinking mimosas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, nice kitchen though, wherever he's at.
Wherever
That's
he's
a nice
at.
kitchen.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, Rachel don't mess around with her properties. I've been to one. And listen, that building on the outside's scary. It looks like it's haunted, but on the inside, you're like, whoa. You know how Mexico gets down, man. Mexico, the buildings ain't even complete. People already living in it. Don't worry about health standards, safety standards. All right, man. Well, we were talking about the Hall of Fame game. That's about as much as I got on that because all those players on the field were pretty much irrelevant to the situation that's going to happen in the actual season. Caleb Williams was there. Caleb Williams was in full uniform and then changed like everybody else and did an interview at halftime that I saw, and that's about it. But the big news out of the NFL yesterday, training camp has already struck injuries, JB. Early reports yesterday, Dante Foreman, Browns running back, helicoptered.
By the way, former Bear.
Room. Yeah, former Bear, I believe, was
last
year. Oh, yeah. He was taken to the hospital via helicopter. He's okay. He was released back to the team. Good to see. DeAndre Hopkins, Titans wide receiver, out 4 to 6 weeks already with a knee injury. And then the big one here locally, if you're paying attention on the West Coast, I think it's big for a lot of people. If you play fantasy football, I think it's big for a lot of people when you're going to bet on this team, because I think a lot of people are really high on this team because of Jim Harbaugh. The Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert has plantar fascia, will be in a walking boot for up to 2 weeks. All reports, according to the Chargers, it's all hunky-dory. Don't worry. Here's their tweet. Following yesterday's practice, Justin Herbert was diagnosed with an injury to the plantar fascia in his right foot. Doctors have recommended approximately 2 weeks in a boot, followed by a graduated return to play protocol, with the expectation that he'll be ready for the start of the regular season. Browner, if there's one thing you know about the Chargers and their medical staff, it's that they ain't that good and they never tell the truth. Plantar fascia, by all reports, it sucks. And now that your quarterback has it and you're not even to preseason week 1, that's something he's going to have to deal with for a long time. That's bad news.
I've had this injury as a basketball player. It is painful, but you can play with it. It's painful, but you can manage it. And we've seen Herbert play injured before. We've seen him not be 100% for long stretches of the season, including last year. So this doesn't necessarily sway me one way or the other about what I think his production will be. I think he got this injury at the proper time to get this injury, that you can take care of it, you can nurse it, and then you can manage it as you go through the season. But I don't think this is an indication of that they're in trouble. I think the Titans, with this DeAndre Hopkins injury and their question at quarterback, is
that's different.
Way more of a monkey wrench in things than anything else.
I think that, to go back to the Chargers, though, the reason why it's a big deal, I think Jim Harbaugh has been like the human duct tape to the holes that is the Chargers roster. They lost Keenan Allen. They lost Austin Eckler. They brought in 2 running backs who can't stay healthy to save their lives, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins coming off a torn Achilles. Edwards, who had a torn ACL 2 years ago, had an okay year for the Ravens last year, but he's always been battling health concerns. You have at receiver Quentin Johnson, who was the biggest bust of the 2023 NFL draft.
As of now, yes.
By all videos I'm seeing on Twitter, still can't catch a ball. Josh Palmer, who missed 7 games last year with numerous injuries. He's your number 1 wide receiver on the depth chart right now. And they drafted Ladd McConkey, who already has not been practicing in training camp because he's picked up injury. I think the Chargers offense, for the first time that I could remember in a very long time, Browner, we don't have those clips of all these NFL analysts saying, this is the most talented team in football.
Ooh.
This is the most, this team, they're going to win 12 games. They're going to surprise people in the NFL. You're not hearing any of that because the roster is not very good as far as offensive weapons. Herbert and Harbaugh have been masking the real holes on this team. And now without Herbert, with a new head coach, with a new offensive coordinator, with basically an entire new offensive system of weapons around you, this is terrible news for the Chargers because Justin Herbert was hurt himself last year and he wasn't very good. So, dude, it is. I know it's August 2nd. I get it.
Yes.
But this is bad. Very bad.
I don't. With all that talent, with all that hype, and with all the major, talking heads believing in the talent and the talent never really coming across the board and wins and Super Bowl and playoff appearances, not having that talent and not having those names might be the structure that you need because now you can build a system under Harbaugh that you just replacing these players except for the quarterback position. Because with all that said, there has never been a better quarterback for Jim Harbaugh at the pro level, than Justin Herbert. This is the best quarterback he's ever had. So therefore, I think this will be more predicated on the offense that they put forward more than the players within it. You talk about the injuries to the running backs and how they got two guys who can't stay healthy. What's the most replaceable position in football? The running back position.
Well, you say that, but last year they couldn't replace Austin Eckler's production. Like he was playing, but he was terrible. So it's like they were so reliant on Austin Eckler. They were like, you can talk about all the numbers Herbert was, but who's scoring all the touchdowns? And Keenan Allen's gone. Like, I think this is a really big deal, dude. I really do.
To me, the interest is the head coach. Because when this happens in San Francisco, no one worries. When this happened in Los Angeles, no one worried.
Well,
because of the head coach.
I think people are worried when it happens in San Francisco. Let's get to that because there's a lot going on.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Yes, everybody, welcome back to Kaplan and Crew. This is Alex Padilla with John Browner with you guys here on a Friday. Scott will be checking in here next segment. Real quick, wanted to give some shout outs to the chatlins. And if you want to join the chatlins, go to youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. If you're watching on SportsGrid or Sirius Channel 159, you'll be part of our live chat. Browner, people have some suggestions. Maybe Browner does a Friday intro when Scott's not here.
No, I do a Monday intro. I told y'all I'm more excited about Mondays than I am about Fridays. Friday means no more of this. Therefore, Mondays is my day, baby. Monday.
Or Friday. Whoa. Shout out to Julian Garcia. It's Friday. Shout out Anthony Matosi. It's Friday. Shout out Louis Escobedo. And Browner, how about this? Someone that agrees with you. Bolt Bros Chargers podcast. These injuries are a good thing and now gives more focus to the Chargers' depth.
See, shout out to the Bolt Bros Chargers podcast, bruh. Listen, they still around. They still repping. Shout out.
Just as a whole, if you look at the Chargers this year, like, what is the expectations? Are you looking at it as they have a real chance to dethrone the Chiefs in the AFC West? Or are you looking at it like, I don't even care? Like, you look at the Padres, like, I don't care about the division. Make the playoffs and get in, and that's all that matters.
In the NFL, just get in, because wild cards tend to do very well in the NFL playoffs. I think divisions have gone, the division idea has jumped the shark. In baseball, the division was important because only 4 teams made the playoffs at times. Now that has been expanded so much, it doesn't matter. Like, just get in. The NBA, no one cares about divisions because half the damn league gets in now. NFL is the same way. Yes, winning your division is cool. Getting in the playoffs is better because that's what matters.
Here's taking a look at the Chargers. I called the Chargers resume. Their win total set at 8.5. I think they'll be flirting with it. I think they're around that 8-9 area. Last year they got 5 wins. They fired Brandon Staley. They hired Jim Harbaugh. They hired Greg Roman as their offensive coordinator. They lost Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett. They brought in J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Will Dissly, and Hayden Hurst to replace those guys. And now Justin Herbert has plantar fascia in a walking boot for at least 2 weeks. And we'll get a bigger, more in-depth injury analysis at the top of the hour when Pro Football Doc from Six Score joins us, because he released a video yesterday, and I could play it real quick, Bronner. He's like, don't worry, we'll be fine.
Players play through plantar fasciitis all the time, including sometimes with game day injections. So it is something that can be manageable. That is the good news for the Chargers and Justin Herbert.
So he can play through it. I'm not telling you he's out for the season. I just think with everything that's going on, I just think it's a lot to deal with to start off training camp. And yes, it's August 2nd.
But again, the doctor agrees with me. It's manageable, baby. It's manageable, baby. It's manageable. It's manageable.
You look at the Chargers win. You look at the Chargers win total as they stand right now, 8.5.
I'm not worried about that. Because I think that they're going to overperform that 8.5 because, again, at the 2 key positions on offense, now you have high-profile players. You have a high-level quarterback, and you have a high-level coach who has proven at every level that he can be successful immediately. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm more worried about the health of Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack repeating what he did last year to be effective from both ends rushing the passer. If you can get that, I'm more concerned about that. If you're asking me what I'm more concerned about coming out of Chargers camp, is the health of my pass rushers. I think the offense will be fine because I'm depending on the head coach. The defensive side of the ball is what gives me more queasy feelings than anything, because Bosa has been hurt every year and he's got a concussion issue, and you don't play around with them concussions. So
yeah, I mean the Chargers defense has never been a strong suit, and even with the
Correct.
big names they have with Derwin James, with Khalil Mack, with Joey Bosa, it's never been Asante Samuel Jr. Like, it's never been their strength, and I don't think that it's still a strength. I really genuinely look at this team and I'm like, man, if it wasn't for Harbaugh, they're probably like a 6-win team.
Ooh.
Honestly, if it wasn't for Jim Harbaugh, I don't think they're a very good team right now. I like you said, can Khalil Mack, progressing in age, still continue to give you 16 sacks a season?
It's tough.
Joey Bosa, for one thing we know, when he plays, pretty good, but doesn't play that often.
Right.
Does not play that often.
I hate to call a man of that size and physical stature fragile, but from a football standpoint, he's been very fragile these last couple of years. And so we know what he can do when he's firing on all cylinders. The problem is he's not often firing on all those cylinders. And so they're a mixed bag right now of what can happen within that organization on the defensive side of the ball. Derwin James getting hurt seems like it's on a clock. At some point it'll happen. It's like the Keenan Allen injury year over year. It's on a clock. At some point you're going to hit it.
Well, we'll talk more about the Chargers coming up with Pro Football Doc at the top of the hour. Joining us next segment is the host of this show from Mammoth, Scott Kaplan. Well, yeah, that's actually true. Maybe. Scott, next.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and I have my respect, and I'm into this game, yeah, we'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is proving to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the target, right hand from my Perry, double jab, who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now. All right, everybody, welcome back to Kaplan and Crew. Scott will be jumping in here shortly. I'm Alex Padilla, along with John Browner, the crew, with you guys here on a Friday.
Yeah.
Heading out of town this weekend, Browner. I got my first fantasy football draft of the 2024 season, and it's too damn early. It's too damn early to be doing this. We haven't even got to preseason yet. But when you got a group of 14 guys with careers and children, you take the only weekend you can get is August 3rd. Then I guess it's August 3rd. But shout out to my buddies. We're all going to get together like we do every year, and it's going to be an absolute S show. But it's too damn early to be doing a fantasy football draft. For you people out there that do fantasy football drafts in July, you're a bunch of sickos. Okay, you're a bunch of sickos that do it too early because this is too damn early. Just yesterday, the injuries that were being reported, it's too soon to be doing this. We haven't even got to preseason week 1 yet. What if like these players play? They're talking. I get so nervous. They're like, "Oh, Joe Burrow's going to play in the preseason." Please don't. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to have him on my team yet. But please don't. I'm not ready to. I feel as if drafting this early, Brown, and I'm sure there's people watching, listening that are also going to draft here soon. You could lose the league before the season even starts.
Pretty much, depending on who you get at quarterback.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like, what if you get, let's just say, okay, I get McCaffrey with the number 1 overall pick. I get McCaffrey with the number 2 overall pick. What if he goes down with injury before the season even comes around? I'm screwed.
I'm telling y'all, low key right now, number 1 pick, Saquon Barkley. I'm telling y'all right now, monster year coming. Monster year coming.
Yeah. Do you think, I don't know if you were going to go there or not, that he will replace the tush push? Do you think like they'll actually hand the ball to him instead of doing, because Jason Kelce retired, he got a lot of credit for it. I know Jalen Hurts is still there. Jalen Hurts just like the touchdown freaking snatcher that he is.
Listen, I think if you're anywhere near that team, that's Jalen Hurts. That's the only way he's gonna get a high touchdown count this year. So they ain't giving that up. That's their go-to move. It's literally a go-to move. You cannot beat it. So why would you not do it? Because the center's gone. Teach the new center. Have a center that just comes in for the tush push because you can't stop it no way. Just get a center specifically.
Or just give it to Saquon. I want to see Saquon's over/under touchdowns. I think it's going to be over too. I think he's going to have a big year. All right, joining us now. I think he's ready to join us. Here's Scott Kaplan live from Mammoth. Turn your phone sideways, dude. Live from Mammoth. Scott Kaplan, take over. Where's your mimosa?
You know what, guys? I was watching you guys in I shouldn't say ours. I should say Rachel's place. I wish I could say it was my place. It's Rachel's place. I got to give credit where credit is due, man. Can you guys hear me pretty good?
Yes. Hey, listen. You keep putting that work in, dog. It will be yours.
Well, that may be true. Take a look around here. So Mammoth Holistics is the partner of ours. Torrey Holistics, California Holistics, Oxnard Holistics, and now here we at Mammoth Holistics. And I came into the shop today. I'm hanging out with Doug, who's the owner. I'm actually playing golf with him tomorrow. And I just came into the shop to give these guys a little bit of love. Look around, man. If you are not in California, and I'm going to tell you guys something right now. I was at our place let me rephrase that. I was at Rachel's place this morning. And bro, I was watching you guys, and then I got in the car. I turned on Sirius. I turned you guys on the radio. There's Jim Rome right ahead of us, then us. And then when you look at the pictures of the TV, it's like Dan Patrick. Dude, I'm telling you right now, we have entered the most crowded space in sports radio and sports TV. But I'm telling you this right now. Dan Patrick, I love Dan, but he's been at it a long time, and he's only got a little bit left. Jim, you guys know I love Jim. I mean, how many times did I host the Jim Rome show when Jim was on vacation?
Right.
I love Jim. I do.
Phenomenal.
But it's kind of like Coach Prime and like my blenders. We coming. Now that we got this SportsGrid and we got the Sirius channel and we got this TV channel, I'm telling you right now, we like Coach Prime.
I mean, I think you definitely got your Jim Rome going on because you are already taking vacation 2 weeks into work. So,
facts.
You know what I mean? Very, very Jim Rome of you.
It is very Jim Rome of me, but I will just say that nobody cares about me and my crazy life and schedule. But man, I'm telling you right now, the last couple of weeks have been hardcore. So thank goodness.
I think the audience has heard that. Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this. I said it on Wednesday. Everybody's about to find out. Show's actually better when I'm not on it.
Yeah, I don't think so. They're just complaining lately.
I have been doing a lot of complaining. Let me ask you guys this question. Should I get you guys like some of this stuff? Like how would you like one of these?
Wheaties?
Wheaties.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Wheaties.
great.
Okay.
So what's going on at Mammoth Holistics? Aren't they sponsoring Palooza?
They are sponsoring Palooza. Man, I'm gonna get you guys, Brown. I'm gonna get you one of these shirts. I'm gonna get you a Mammoth Holistics shirt.
You gotta give me a tall, big fella. You gotta give me a tall.
I'll take a shirt.
Yeah, you want a shirt?
Yeah, I got an Oxnard Holistic shirt.
Rachel's over here talking to Doug. He's the owner, but he refuses to come on camera.
Listen, people want to see Rachel. They want to see Rachel.
Wait, there he is. There's Doug. He said he refused, but now here he is.
I'm here. Man. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Take him off camera before he pulls the sponsorship.
These guys, Alex has a Oxnard Holistics t-shirt. I may have to bring these guys Mammoth Holistics t-shirts because look how good they would look rocking those on TV.
I like it.
You know, so we're looking around the shop.
Dude, it's beautiful.
I know it is a beautiful store. It really is, and it's great because we come up here a lot during the year and spend Christmas up here, and now every summer we come up here for Palooza. And by the way, when you told me that you were making me proud by reading a spot, you had the QR code on the screen for blenders, and I clicked on it just to make sure that it worked. Bomb.
There you go.
See, here's the thing. We know it, and all of our locals know it. And I'm not looking at the live chat right now, but all of our locals know it. I've said it a million times. We're 3 people. That's it. That's it. And so for us to have taken this thing and gone national, and to be able to do what we did yesterday, where we're cruising down the road and we're on TV and on radio, and today doing this, I mean, dude, this is 3 people. So anyway, I'm super proud.
So we got about 2 minutes here in this segment, Scott. Can I ask you a sports question? Big news
I heard
coming out of sports.
I heard you guys talking about the Chargers, Alex. I thought you made a great point. If Jim Harbaugh was not the coach of the Chargers, who would think the Chargers are going to be good?
No one.
Nobody. I mean, even with Harbaugh, I'm like, are the Chargers going to be good?
And now with this Justin Herbert thing, that's a big problem, because he's going to go into the season hurt. So you can put him in a boot for 2 weeks, and you can get him back out on the field after all of the rest and all of the recovery and all of the rehab. You can put him in meetings. You can have him studying film, but he's going to start the season hurt. And I don't care what team it is. You can tell me about the coach all day long, but the bottom line is it's about a quarterback. The Chargers have one, but if he's not healthy and he can't play, they're screwed.
Yep. And that's kind of where they're at. And they brought in all these pieces that I don't think are better than what they had last year. Like I thought about it this morning, Scott. When was the last time we don't have a clip of any analyst saying the Chargers are the most talented team in football?
Right.
It's been like a decade.
Hey, and by the way, just another quick story about quarterbacks. Did you guys see the previews that are being put out by Max about the Hard Knocks with the Bears? And they show Caleb Williams, and he tells the team that he got a $25.5 million signing bonus. And Tyson Bagent, the undrafted free agent who started games for them last year, was sitting in his chair like, what?
Yeah.
I made a league minimum last year, $500,000. This guy got a $25.5 million signing bonus. Crazy.
Yeah, man. All right, dude, before we wrap up this segment, you want to give a more shout out to Mammoth Holistics and we'll let you on your way?
Alex, I don't know. Listen, I want to say this. If you come to San Diego or if you're in San Diego, you got to come to Torrey Holistics or California Holistics is in Chula Vista. If you're up further north, you go in Grande's Hood, the 805, you go check out Oxnard Holistics. But if you're coming up here for Blues-a-Palooza, and if you happen to be up in Mammoth at any other time of the year, Mammoth Holistics is the place to be. How about that?
All right, man. Go enjoy yourself. Say hello to Rachel and Doug for everybody. Shout out to you guys and enjoy yourself out there, all right?
Peace.
Peace out. All right, everybody. That's Scott checking in for Mammoth. When we come back at the top of the hour,
we've been robbed. When we come back, we've been robbed. And I'm going to tell y'all why.
All right. When I have no idea what he's talking about. Let's get there.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching them, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night with the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded. And he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
True. With Grande and the Brown Man with you guys here on a Friday ahead of a big weekend here. The Olympics, football. I mean, it's great. Baseball, NL West race is on, even though Browner doesn't want to say it is. You know, we had Jeff Spiegel on the show yesterday, Browner, from DodgerBlue.com, and I was on his podcast. And we had a big, like, 25-minute discussion. And I think the reaction from Dodger fans is that the race is on. It's just a combination of everything. And it's not just exclusively the Padres. The Diamondbacks are half a game behind the Padres. It's NL West race. And listen, the LA Dodger fan base, I know how they are. It's overreaction to everything. But that was the overwhelming consent, man. It was that consensus. It was the race is on.
The Dodger fans would say the race is on when they're 5 steps ahead of everybody. Yeah. Cool, bro. The race was on when the season started, all right? Relax. Relax.
All right. Before we went to a break here on SportsGrid TV and Sirius Channel 159, you said we were robbed. Who is we robbed? And what got stolen?
To the people of Southern California, San Diego to be more specific, a robbery has occurred, and I don't even know if any of y'all know what got stolen. Check y'all wallets, check y'all safes, check y'all bank accounts. Y'all been robbed. We, because I live here, we have been robbed. Did you know that they released the best parks
Who's
in
they?
the United States of America. Apparently, a group that is put together by the following people: Yelp, Google, TripAdvisor, and Facebook. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they put together the top 90 parks in America. 90. So they went through
Mm-hmm.
90 parks, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, all parties involved, and ranked them. Ranked them.
Mm-hmm.
I won't ask who y'all know was number one because obviously that the call and response will take too long. Green Bay having the number one stadium in America is that's not bad. It's history there. It's actually beautiful. They put a lot of money into that place. So I'm not really that being number one, doesn't get me fired up. PNC
What? I
Park
can't
number
believe you're. I
two.
can't believe you're fired up about a list. Anyways, okay, keep going.
PNC Park number 2. Camden Yards number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Busch Stadium
Both.
number 4.
By the way, PNC Park is on like everyone's number one list in all of baseball stadiums.
And Oracle Park in San Francisco's number 5. Those are the top 5, okay? Number 6 is the one that really got me fired up. Because I've been to Lumen Field in Seattle. I've been there.
I have been there too.
That ain't the top 6 stadium. That's not a top 6 stadium. So I don't know who in the Northeast started this survey to make sure that they ended up high on the list. Kabuki. No, fam. 6? No, here's my list.
Dude, but Seattle's in the Northwest.
That's what I'm saying. They cheated.
Well, you said Northeast.
I'm sorry. The Northwest. They
Okay,
cheated.
I was very confused.
Here's my top 5 list.
Wait, can we show what got you mad though? Just the top
Okay,
6?
The following places got me mad. No, it wasn't the top 6. I just didn't think we had
Here's
time to go
the
through
list,
all
by
of
the
them.
way.
Okay. That's really small. Here's the places that got me mad. These are the places in front of Petco
Okay.
Park.
Hold on.
What?
Okay, go. Full screen.
These are the places that got me mad that are in front of Petco Park, okay? Oklahoma City's Paycom Center. Ain't a damn thing to do in Paycom in Oklahoma City, 1. And 2, in a basketball facility. It's just not as cool. It's just not, okay? Lumen Field already been over that. And how the hell is Coors Field 15 and Petco Park 19?
Mm-hmm.
Petco Park is 19. 1-9. 1-9. They got Coors Field in front of Petco Park. Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
So the one that I'm looking at that's like, are you really? Is Progressive Field in Cleveland. Like that's number 12. Come on now. I've never been there and I know that's not true. And to be honest with you, I've never heard anybody say anything super positive about Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. I've heard nothing but great things about the PNC Park. Nothing about Heinz Field. Nothing. I don't know what's called Acrisure Stadium now. Didn't even know. Also, Milwaukee.
The Brewers have it's a good stadium.
Why? Because it has a slide for their mascot so reporters can break their arm?
So around that, because I've been there before. Around the park, it's a lot of entertainment. It's a lot of things to do around the park. And so I'm putting a lot of things that like are around the park into this. That's why I don't understand how the park in San Francisco got so high up on the list.
Oracle Park?
You can't go a block outside of that place. It's dangerous.
No, it's not. It's fine, dude. I was just there last year. It's fine.
So here's my list. Number 1, because you can't argue with history. Lambeau's number 1. They got that right. Okay.
Talk about doing nothing outside the stadium. You want to talk about nothing? They're just houses.
The combination of community, rich tradition, and style, makes it number 1. Number 2 to me is Petco. I don't think that's biased on my behalf. I think Petco's beautiful. I think Petco's number 2. Number 3, PNC. Because I'm not saying PNC is trash.
Yeah.
Not saying PNC trash. I'm just saying it's not better than Petco. It's not by a lot, but Petco's better. Petco edges them out. Number 4.
Yeah.
Fenway Park.
Fenway.
I don't know how Fenway got dissed like this. Fenway has everything, and I mean everything.
Fenway 7th.
That's too low. Fenway has everything Lambeau has. It's just baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The building's older, so because I've been to Lambeau too. I'm sorry, not Lambeau. I've been to Fenway as well. It's smaller, but it has the historical nature built within the stadium that makes it dope.
I love the things that get you mad.
And number 5, Camden Yards. I like Camden Yards. I think it's nice. I think it's dope. I think the surroundings, they've had historical moments there. So, and I like Baltimore as a city, speaking of places you can't go a block outside of. But I think that's my top 5. That's my top 5 right there.
Okay. All right. There you go, everybody. That's John Browner at Browner's Podcast. Give him your feedback. Give him your thoughts, your takes. Tell him why he's wrong. Tell him why he's right. Petco being 19th is pretty low. I'll tell you that.
That's insane.
Especially when you see Paycom Center. That's the one that, like, what? What are you talking about?
What?
What are you talking about? We are brought to you by 7 Mile Casino here in Southern California. 7 Mile Casino is just minutes away from downtown San Diego. 7milecasino.com. They have all your favorite table games. They have a full bar. They have lots of TVs. Go check them out if you're in Southern California. 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. At the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Pro Football Doc more about Justin Herbert.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par 5s. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16. Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
Back to Kaplan and Crew. Browner just finished giving you his top 5 stadiums in all of America. And the chat has gone wild. And for those of you asking here in Southern California, SoFi is ranked 85th on that list.
That's bananas, by the way.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I haven't really heard like amazing things about anything other than the inside of it. You know, like the video board is dope and it's new, but like the food stinks, traffic's terrible, parking's expensive. It's pretty much LA in a stadium, right? Isn't that? I mean, the food is good in LA, but yeah. Anyways, Browner, we'll be joined by Pro Football Doc at the top of the hour to get more injury analysis on Justin Herbert.
You know what? He would have a good ballpark breakdown. He's been to a lot of places. He's a good person to ask about that.
Yeah, especially knowing bad ballparks, being the team doctor for the Chargers while they were at Qualcomm.
Right.
You know,
number 1 worst park. They would have been. By the way,
Oakland Coliseum.
They were 89. They weren't even 90. They weren't the worst. The Commanders was 90 on the list. Like, bruh, come on, Magic.
They're gonna do something. They're gonna build a better one there. I think
they have to
eventually. Oh, real quick, Browner. Another note in the NFL, and this pissed me off. How about that? If we're just gonna do pissed off things, you know what pissed me off? The judge that was like, you know what? The people don't deserve $14.6 billion. Some judge in New York or wherever he was like, you know what? I'm with the NFL. I'm with these 32 billionaires. I'm with Roger Goodell. This anti whatever lawsuit about the NFL Sunday ticket being reversed is complete blasphemy. And by the way, I read nothing about it except the headline, but it still pissed me off. It done pissed me off. I thought I was going to get a nice fat check from the NFL. I thought I was going to get a check from Roger Goodell for the last 10, 12 years I've been paying for the NFL Sunday ticket on DirecTV. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, give me my money. Give me my money because A, it's too expensive. B, I only want to watch the Vikings. And C, really, I kind of want the red zone too. And you're charging me $500, dude, a year? That judge, man, that's what pissed me off.
If this don't tell you how corrupt the system is, nothing will, dog. The people were awarded billions of dollars.
Dude, it took years.
Came in and was like,
it took
nah, fam.
years. It took years for this for the plaintiffs to win a case against the NFL. The NFL, who's got endless amount of resources to pay lawyers however much they need. It took years to win, and a quick 2-week appeal, and now it's over. Boom, later. Never see you again.
If I were them, I'm telling you right now, Supreme Court, here I come. And I'm watching the judge that threw this out.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see where you go on Sundays. I need to see. Because if you show up in the football stadium in the owner's box, we got problems. Corruption at its highest.
Right. I know it's going to get appealed again, chat. I know that's how it works. No, I don't. I don't know how it works. I just know it is going to be appealed again. And it's going to live in lawsuit hell forever. All I know is this. The fact that judge did overturn it and on the appeal, we're never going to see a dime. Like, we're never going to see a dime, ever.
Y'all ain't going to get that money. That's why people's hard.
Have you ever got a class action, like, lawsuit check randomly in the mail?
Yes, I did.
Me too.
I had no
Wells
idea.
Fargo.
I got one from some other banking thing, credit card company, like years ago. I was like, what is this? It was like 83 cents.
Bro, I got like $1,500 from Wells Fargo one time.
They were scamming folks out there, bro.
I was like, hell yeah, dude. Scam me more. Just send me like, my information's out there, you know?
All of it is.
It's all out there. You know what I hate? Another thing that pisses me off? When you go to a new website and it asks you to accept or reject all their cookies.
Reject cookies all the time.
I know, but it's annoying. It's annoying. Like, how many times do I got to go to the same website and you still got to ask me? Like,
I'm rejecting your cookies.
I'm also rejecting your cookies. Ain't no Girl Scout cookies for me. All right, dude. You've been keeping an eye out before we get to Pro Football Doc here at the top of the hour. You've been keeping an eye on the Olympics because track and field started today.
Your girl was good. Shakira was gone. How can you run that fast with nails? Her too.
Yeah. Dude, the nails thing has been going on since I was a kid. I remember I forget, was it Jackie Joyner Kersey?
Yep. Yeah.
In '96 in Atlanta,
Yep.
she had rocking them long nails, smoking everybody.
They might be aerodynamic. That might be the trick.
All three U.S. women sprinters advanced past the first heat of the 100 meter. The men's 100 meter gets underway tomorrow. I was actually watching Browner. I shouldn't have brought this up with so little time. We'll get to it after Pro Football Doc. Guess what I was watching on the Olympics this morning before we hit the air?
What?
The 5K. We need an update.
You get one.
We need an update. Absolutely. All right. At the top of the hour, Pro Football Doc will join us. But before we get there, just want to remind everybody, we are brought to you by Life Brew, which Life Brew with a Y, LYFE brew.com. Use promo code GreatFriends, and you will get 30% off your purchase. Life Brew uses a mushroom coffee, which is absolutely great for your daily health, gives you boost of energy, positive mood. You can go on lifebrew.com and read more for yourself. I'll say it this way. My mom is using it. And my mom is the hardest person to get to use anything, and she loves it. So check it out, lifebrew.com. Use promo code GreatFriends to get 30% off your purchase. Dr. David Chow next.